Everyone keeps saying that eating 2 eggs for breakfast is stalling your fat loss, but no one's explaining why. Let's break it down. If you don't know me, I'm Gerard, and I help women over 40 who are done with the fad diets and want to actually understand how to fuel their body. And trust me, this one shift changed everything for me and my clients as well. And just so you know, eggs are not the enemy. They're nutritious, they're delicious, I eat them every day. But here's the mistake I see over and over again. People think they're eating a high protein breakfast with just 2 eggs. Well, they're not. Here's why. 1 egg has 6 grams of protein and 70 calories. The majority of those calories actually come from fat, not protein. So when you combine 2 eggs plus a couple of bits of toast plus some fruit, you might feel like you have a pretty balanced meal going. But that whole meal only has 15 grams of protein for around 500 calories, which means only 12% of that meal comes from protein. And if you want optimal fat loss, you need to be aiming for 25 to 35 grams of protein per meal, or at least 30% of that meal needs to come from protein calories. Because when your first meal of the day lacks protein density, 2 things happen. Your blood sugar swings and your hunger comes roaring back mid-morning. Cue the snacking cycle that sabotages fat loss. So how do you turn all this into a fat-burning breakfast meal? It's really simple. You want to keep the eggs, but boost the protein. Add a cup of egg whites, some Greek yogurt, some cottage cheese, or some lean meats. The goal is to pick foods that have at least 50% of their calories coming from protein. Now, how do you know that? Here's a little hack to find that out. Take the grams of protein found in that food and multiply that by 10. If that number is less than the total calories of that food, then it's not a protein dense option. Again, back to the eggs. 1 egg has 6 grams of protein and 70 calories. 6 grams of protein multiplied by 10 is 60. 60 is less than 70, which means it's not a protein dense food. You need to add a bit more protein then. Now, if all that sounds a little bit too confusing and you just want a free done for you guide with my favorite high protein, high fiber breakfasts that support fat loss, then just follow me and send me a message with the word breakfast and I'll send that right over to you.